Now, in a fresh twist in the Saradha scam, government has admitted in Parliament that no proof of transaction routed to Bangladesh to fund terror activities in the probe has come up until now. Let's get in more details from Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan, who's on the phone line with us. Yes, Madhav.
Well, yes, in fact, in a surprising twist, really, the Department of Personnel and Training, really, under which the CBI falls, in a written reply in the Lok Sabha, has denied that there is any link between the Saradha scam or the funds emerging out of it and the funding of terror activities in Bangladesh. Clearly, of course, this is a huge embarrassment for the government and particularly for the BJP, where the party president Amit Shah had in a rally in Kolkata just recently said that money from the Saradha scam was being used to fund terror activities in Bangladesh. In that light, certainly a huge embarrassment for the BJP, whose own government really has denied the charges that have been made by the party president. This is, of course, a hugely sensitive political issue because clearly, of course, the BJP taking on the TMC on the home turf of West Bengal, and clearly, of course, with the government now coming out, has given a stick to the TMC to come back and attack really the BJP. So clearly, in that sense, a huge embarrassment. No statement yet coming in from the government side, but clearly, of course, sources in the government saying that it is due to arrests that were made in Bangladesh that, in fact, this inference was being drawn.
Not just embarrassment, Madhav, this will also give more fodder to the TMC, because so far we've had Mamata Banerjee time and again come out and say that this is just political vendetta that the BJP and the centre are actually practicing against it.
Absolutely. In fact, that's what the government, what the West Bengal government has said all along. That, in fact, as far as the Saradha scam is concerned, that it is being targeted by the CBI and the central government for political reasons. And clearly, of course, with this revelation now coming out, certainly, of course, TMC's argument, the argument will be that this is more proof just of that particular allegation. So in that light, certainly, it is something that is a hugely sensitive issue in the state of West Bengal, and in fact will now be played out in Parliament. We're already seeing the TMC over the past 2 weeks since Parliament has reconvened the winter session. We have been seeing how they have been, in fact, attacking the government. In fact, even coming out holding black umbrellas, wearing black shawls, holding red diaries, all sorts of protests that the TMC has been doing in Parliament, and that process only expected to continue now.
In fact, Madhav, do we expect the protest by the TMC to turn even more aggressive, given that the government itself is now admitting that the charges they were levelling so far have been without proof?
Well, absolutely. That certainly seems to be the case in this case, because what the government has been saying, what particularly at that huge controversial rally of BJP President Amit Shah, over which there was a lot of wrangling, and finally the High Court had to grant permission for the BJP President to conduct that rally. Even at that rally, the statements that were made. And now, in fact, if we go by what the DOPT is saying, at least on paper, it seems to be a false statement. So clearly, in that light, there would be a huge amount of protest as far as the TMC itself is concerned. Really looking at this kind of a response coming from the government's own end, and clearly, of course, not able to back up even what the party president has been saying, what the BJP President Amit Shah has been saying in Kolkata.
Absolutely, Madhav. So the big question is, did the BJP really jump the gun as far as this is concerned? Just to remind our viewers, do remember that Amit Shah in a rally in West Bengal a few days ago had mentioned this fact, also said very categorically that the money that came from the Saradha Chit fund actually had been routed to Bangladesh, which funded the terror blasts that were taking place as even in Bardhaman for that matter. So embarrassment, Madhav, not just for the BJP over this, but also the central government, because in Parliament today they've had to admit that there is not much evidence to support claims which have been doing the rounds that a lot of money that came out of the Saradha Chit Fund scam was actually being routed to the Jamaat-e-Islami in Bangladesh. Madhav, if you can hear us?
Well, yes, absolutely. Really, that was the allegation that was still being made as far as Amit Shah is concerned. Sources in the government, however, who we have tried to get a reaction from on this issue, have not really commented on record. Off record, they have said that perhaps the BJP president's inference was based upon arrests that were made in Bangladesh, and perhaps that was at an earlier stage of the investigation that was reported in Parliament. But be that as it may, the fact is that this is a reply that has been submitted today in the Lok Sabha, and in that sense, and certainly we have to go by what the government is saying as of today in the Lok Sabha. And clearly, as of now, the fact is that the government has very clearly mentioned on paper that no such clear link of terror funding from the Saradha scam money has been proved on record. No such link has yet come out or emerged. And in that light, certainly, of course, one would then wonder on what basis really the statement was made by the BJP president.
Now, Madhav, of course, we know that the TMC is going to use this admission of the government to its advantage. But the question that everyone has been asking is why Mamata Banerjee so far has not been able to explain why so many of TMC's tallest leaders are actually implicated in the Saradha scam. They are accused and two even arrested.
Well, yes, absolutely. For Mamata Banerjee, this is perhaps the biggest challenge that her government has faced in the state of West Bengal. Clearly, large number of leaders from Kunal Ghosh to Madan Mitra and so on and so forth, whose names have emerged as far as this particular matter is concerned. But at this point of time, what we can say is that one aspect when the TMC, at least as far as this winter session, has been very aggressive about, at least this new aspect of it is something that has given TMC something to actually argue about,